Most of us think ourselves as either male or female, but every year in Kenya, some children are born with a mix of male and female biological traits that can make it hard for doctors to assign them a male or female sex. These people are intersex. NTV spoke to several families with intersex children as they face the dilemmas of growing up as neither male nor female, but somewhere in between. Every mother arguably looks forward to delivering a healthy baby, but it was not the case for this family. It was a joyous moment when this couple, whom we will protect their identities and call them Mark and Janet, welcomed their son into the world on October 15th, 2010.
Niko na firstborn ambaye ni msichana. Sasa venye nilipata nikijua nimepata kijana, nilifurahia sana.
But it had something that slightly disturbed us because the boy had an ambiguous genitalia. But we never took it that serious. We used to go to hospital and then the doctors recommended my child has to undergo a very minor surgery. Just we call it an undecided testicle, where they operate minor and bring the testicles down. So they took what we call a biopsy. Something shocking when the result came, a name that I don't even like to mention, hermaphrodite, which even mentioning stakangi because I've never imagined having such. So we were told on the right side there is an ovary and there is a testicle. In fact, in a combination it's called ovo testis. And then the left side, it was told it is an ovary. We know our child is a boy. It's known as mixed gonad dysgenesis, can cause kidney failure, or even the ovotestis can become cancerous. I'm telling you, our life have never been the same because you are scared. Why God? Why did this happen to us?
And that now puts a lot of pressure to the profession and to the decisions that we must make, because we cannot separate the two tissues together. They have grown up together, they are mixed, and that is now proper mixture. A lot of counseling to be done. We make decisions either to remove everything or to allow the child to grow with the two of them, and then at puberty suppress one with medications. The options are many.
Intersex person is someone who doesn't fit the typical definition of male or female, as they may have variations in their chromosomes, gonads, sex hormones, or genitals.
We were told now to go for further tests. I was surprised for once that we don't have those tests, karyotype in Kenya. The samples were taken and sent to South Africa. We were shocked to get the result that our boy is not even a boy. He is a she. My wife could not even come out of that place. She fell down. So when I went, I was also shocked. No uterus. Then how comes our child is a boy? Greatest question that I don't know who will answer me.
Ati mtoto wangu venye nimemlea kama kijana, ati akuwe msichana. Hiyo inashindangwa hata nitasema aje hata kwa society tena nianze kumvalisha nguo za msichana. Ni kitu yenye sijaisikia mpaka nilikuwa nashindwa Mungu wangu. Ni nini hii? Hiyo ilinishtua sana.
Two people mentioned about killing our child. I was shocked and I told my wife, we can't do this. She was told it is there. Many people have done it. In the community, it's termed as a taboo because people would think you are bewitched or you are cursed. That's why you are giving birth to such a child. But you see, the child belongs to God. I've done a lot of research asking many people privately, pretending the case is not mine. Everybody asks, I've never heard. Many people have come to know the condition our child is. Your son is not even a boy. You see that? So everybody wants to see that boy and to see how he looks like. You can now imagine the condition and the fear that brings to our family.
Hata kwanza shule walijua shida yake kabisa. Sasa tukaona afadhali kumficha sasa. Juu akijua ati anaambiwa yeye ni msichana, hiyo inaweza muaffect sana. Sasa ndio maana tulimchukua tukamtransfer akaenda shule nyingine. Anajua kuna shida. Juu akienda hii haja dogo anaenda kama msichana. Hata waleo anasemanga, mam, nitatibiwa lini niende haja dogo kama fulani.
I've been cancelled, both me and my wife. We have come to accept the situation.
There are at least 40 intersex variations ranging from genetic, chromosomal, anatomic, and hormonal. For example, a child might be born appearing to be female on the outside, but having mostly male typical anatomy on the inside. Or a baby could be born with a male genital, but have ovaries instead of testes. In some cases, a baby may be born to have genitals that seem to be in between the usual male and female types.
Research is going on, but we think that there is a gene which has not behaved the way it was meant to be, or the mother could be taking some particular medications, some particular hormones, which then the baby picks up, or the mother could be having some particular diseases which produce an exorbitant amount of hormones, where the baby again picks up.
Statistics from the Child Rights International Network conservatively estimates that there are over 20,000 intersex people in Kenya. When Paul, not his real name, was born, his arrival was supposed to be met with celebration. Being the firstborn, he was supposed to bring joy to his parents.
Kipata huyu kijana tulikuwaga na baba yake. Na ndio tukaweza kupata huyu mtoto. Kuambiwa na daktari ati ako na shida. Alitoka kwa boma asubuhi na mapema kwenda, alienda akiambiwa watu, mimi nasaa watoto wenye hawana organs mzuri. Ati ameangalia huyu mtoto, ameona hata akitibiwa namna gani hata wai tibika. Nililia nikalia nikijua tulisaa kijana na yeye.
At birth, Paul appeared to be a normal baby boy.
Kijana yangu ni intersex, mwenye saa hii ako na miaka 17. Nilimpata tu kwa hospitali, waliniambia mtoto ako na shida, lakini saa hizo hawangeweza kumfanyia operation. Mwende amalize miezi 2 ndio waone hiyo kitu vizuri, jira haikuwa inajionyesha vizuri. Rudi huko, waliniambia mtoto hana shida, ile kitu iko ni shimo, na hiyo shimo wataifunga, wataweza tafuta nyama kwa mapaja yake waifunike, ndio at least mtoto aendelee. Na wakafanya vile na mtoto akaendelea vizuri. Tukakaa na yeye mwaka wa kwanza, mwaka wa pili, nikaona hapana, mtoto ako na shida bado, hiyo mkojo bado inalika. Nikamrudisha huko, wakaniambia sasa inabidi tushone vizuri, inaonekana hatukushona vizuri, akafanywa operation tena. Nikamlea kama kijana. Sasa vile mtoto alifika miaka ambayo sasa hungeweza kumwangalia, mimi nikafikiria labda mtoto wangu alipona, sikuwa naona akiwa na shida. Mtoto wangu alipita vizuri, kaenda form 1, form 2, form 3 first term. Ndio niliona kijana wangu amebadilika. Akirudi shule, anakaa wiki 1, 2, anarudi nyumbani. Nikimuuliza ni nini kijana, ananiambia mama, mimi niko na shida na naonaga shida yangu huelewagi. Sasa ndio na shida anitaambia nani. Ilikuwa sasa ni monotonous. Ninamrudisha shule, tunaongea na mwalimu anamkubali. Saa nyingine ninaambiwa nimekupea wiki zingine 2 uende ukae na yeye hivyo anataka. Kaniambia mama, if you are not understanding my problem, the society is not understanding my problem, school pia hawanielewi. Mimi mahali imefika sasa, nimeona afadhali kukufa. Sasa ndio sasa nikaona hii kitu sasa ni serious. Mwa dada yangu aliongea na yeye na akamwambia yeye ako na shida, anapata period. Hiyo kitu yenyewe ilinistua, jilisiku hata mimi nafikiria hiyo kitu inaweza kuwa hivyo. Sasa sio parts nipate kama wasichana. Sasa nashindwa kuelewa. Hata nikiwa kwa shule hiyo ndio inafanyaga nitoroke jiri, nikianza tu hivi nashindwa nifanye nini. Nitoroke kwa fence niende nikatafuta usaidizi na huko nje. Yenyewe nilikuja kustressika jiri yake. Jiri yeye mwenyewe nilijua alikuwa stressed kabisa na hakuwa na yeyote yule wa kuelezea.
Like, why did God create me like this way? And that actually brought stress. In school, I was a very bright student because even the first records, I've never attained less than a B+. I dropped out of school because of stigmatization. It's like now your friends have known you. Even the teachers, when they know your condition, they don't want even to see you. You don't have anybody you can share your problems with.
In 2016, Josephine took her son to hospital for further test.
Kusema ukweli ana experience mambo mawili. Kijana, msichana, lakini bado wanasema hiyo ya usichana hakuna siku ataikubali. Hormones zilisema usichana ndio mwingi kushida ukijana. Jirie ameguro kama kijana. Kila kitu hata ukimsikiza yenyewe ako na base. Ameogereshwa na counselors na ameweza kuelewa kweli ako bado na maisha hata akiwa kwa hiyo hali.
There is menstruation. That's a good sign. It is going to come from the uterus. It means that they are ovaries. So this is a female who needs just a little of changing the outside, because every system is that of a female. It's going to have breasts. That's very easy. And if he has grown up as a boy, it's going to be difficult for him to continue being a boy.
I came to accept myself. Self-realization is what is important. As long as you know yourself, that's the best way you can handle your problems.
Moments after giving birth, Mary, not her real name, faced a difficult choice, deciding whether her baby would be a boy or a girl.
Nilimpata mtoto on 1999. Mtoto mwenye alikuwa na viungo viwili ya msichana na mvulana, na tukaanza kumlea kama msichana. Na alipofanyiwa testi huko ndani, akaonekana bado hata huko ndani ako mara mbili. Ako na hormones za mvulana na za msichana. Ikiwa ni upande wa msichana, tukaambiwa hanaga ovary. Si kama wazazi, tuliketi chini na tukaongea. Tukasema tu tuendelee na kumtereka atengenezwa akiwa msichana. Akiwa mdogo nilikuwa ninamficha sana, lakini kuna mambo huwezi kuficha. Juu hata watu wa kijiji walikuwa wanakuja kukunywa chai ya mtoto, lakini wengi walienda kunifichulia mwishowe ya kuwa sio chai walikuwa wanakuja kukunywa, walikuja wamuone ili waone venye anakaa. Surgery ya kwanza akaenda akafanyiwa. Hiyo surgery ya pili alitolewa testi hizo za upande wa mwanaume. Sasa wakati huo alikuwa darasa la 6. Mimi nilikuwa nikifikiria after hiyo surgery mtoto wangu sasa ataanza kukua kama msichana.
By the time 19-year-old Jackie, not her real name, reached puberty, she was not showing signs of developing a female gender and identifying as a girl.
Mamangu alifanya nitambue mapema venye niko. Nilijua niko tofauti sababu 13, 14, 15 bado msichana anaanza kukuanga. Saa zingine naona wasichana wenye tunasoma na wao wameanza kugrow, yani kiusichana. I was expecting it, I would grow like a girl. So bado nilikuwa na expect breasts zikuwe, si ndio? So unaona umefika mahali umeruhusu, hakuna changes.
Bado alikuwa anakaa hivyo. Ni kama tu mvulana. mara wengine wanasema ni uchawi. Walikuwa wakisema hii mambo imetokana na mahali nimetoka.
Jackie went to an all-girls school, and from about the age of 15, she was picked on for being quite a masculine girl. Being prodded and stared at was humiliating and lonely.
Nilisikia wasichana watatu na walikuwa marafiki wangu, my best friends. Even wengine walikuwa my desk mates. Sasa nilisikia wakipanga venye wanataka kujua mimi ni nani. Mimi nikakimbia nikajificha kwa choo. Mimi nikasema hapana, mimi siwezi ishi. Nikaandikia mama barua. Nikamwambia mimi sisomi tena na siishi kwa hii dunia. Nataka kujiua. Nikakaa, nikikuja akaisoma. Mama alishikwa na uchungu. Sasa unaona hiyo kitu imeexpose kwa watu wote. Nikapatana na walimu wawili. Wakanifanya counseling. Mpaka nikaona sasa hakuna kitu kingine. Si mimi nilijiumba. Lakini unaona bado niko na uchungu moyoni. Nikaamua kusoma. I failed. Nikaanguka kabisa. Nikaanguka hata kitu sijai expect. Sababu yenye tu nilipata lowest C print. So unaona hii KCSE ikikuja nipate D+, unaona nimefail. Nile kitu imenisumbua. Mimi siendangi kwa watu. Sababu unajua hakuna kitu hawajui. Sina marafiki.
Mawazo mengi huwa inanipitia juu niye mtoto wangu wa kwanza, na mpaka sasa huwa hakui kama watoto wengine. Hata watu wa kijiji huwa wananiuliza, kwani mtoto wako hakutengenezwa na ulikuwa ukimpeleka hospitali? Mimi wakati mwingine huwa nalia juu ya huyo mtoto wangu. Juu hata alipomaliza shule, hata college hawezi enda. Juu anasemanga sasa ataenda college akiwa namna gani. Hata wakati mwingine ilifika na akachukua dawa kwa nyumba, akaenda siku karibu akaenda akaikunywe. Bahati nzuri watoto wengine na nyanya yake ndio walimsaidia.
My mom has made me very strong. Amenifanya tu ni wapo. Sababu anafikanga mahali ananiambia si mimi nilijiumba, si aliyetaka niza hivyo. Sasa ni Mungu na ananiambianga Mungu anajua tu venye anatakanga na wewe.
I'm Joseph Ngari. I was born an intersex. I grew up as a girl named Josephine Wangari. I'm 30 years old. After kuzaliwa nikiwa kwa maternity, mamangu alipewa ruhusa akatoka. Wakijua mimi ni kijana Joseph, walikuwa ameniname. But after wakaenda nyumbani, aunti yangu akiniosha ndio walijua there was a problem. So wakaprefer kunirudisha hospitali. Yani wali-examine wakaona mostly parts zenye zinaonekana ni za female. So wakadecide kunitengeneza as a woman. The first operation ilifanywa, I was 8 months old. So the second one ilifanywa niko 7 years. After puberty stage, sasa hapo ndo nilianza mimi mwenyewe nikaanza kuona changes. Yes, navaa kama msichana, but tunajipata hata naweza enda nichukue nguo za brother yangu naanza kuvaa hizo marongi. 2 or 3 when so nikaanza kudevelop base. After base nilikuwa standard 8 nika develop breasts. So nikakaa, but it was challenging. Venye nilianza kumea ndevu nilistuka. Sasa nilikuwa nanyoa. Alafu nikaenda nikatafuta dawa ya kupaka The more nilipaka inaendelea kutokea pimples, nikaachana nayo. So vile niliachana nayo ndio zika develop tena more than that. But nilikuwa nazinyoa style at least nione tu niko tu comfortable. Hata kama ni after 2 days tu, provided watu wasione nywele za huku zimedevelop hivyo mpaka kwa kifua. So hizo zote nilikuwa nanyoa. Mpaka mimi mwenyewe kwanza nilikuwa na isolate na wengine. Tuna feel venye hii maswali mingi wananiuliza, najifeel uncomfortable. Most of the people wenye walikuwa wanani confuse. Najua mwingine hata anakuita kama ni kusania, anaweza kukusania kama jamaa. Haya, most unaweza enda hata kama ni kwa duka, wanakuelewa mwanaume. Before hawezi kukuelewa kama nini, kama mwanamke, kulingana venye umevaa na your physical appearance. Lakini ukivaa skirt inakuwa contradicting. Sura ni mwanaume but ni venye umedress inaleta shida. Unaweza enda hata kama ni kwa matatu, unapanda unasikia panda bro. Hata siwezi enda hata kama ni church au ni wapi, sitaki yani penye kuna watu wengi. Nilikuwa niitwa boarding. Mimi nikaambia mama yangu hata sitaki shule, unitafutie kosi ya kufanya. Hata niliprefer, nikamwambia mimi nataka kosi ya mechanic. Akaniambia tena una prefer kosi za wanaume, utawezana nazo. Akaniambia mimi sitaki uende hizo mechanics. Itabidi basi kama utaki boarding tukupeleke day school. Nikatafutua day school ndio nikajoin. Kwangu ni kwa tu najiona ni mimi peke yangu. Unajiuliza maswali mingi. Hata sometimes unaweza tu jiangalia hivi venye una develop, unasikia tu umejihate. Hata unawish better ukufe tu. Jioni ukifit na wale wengine, especially unaweza enda kama ndio mnaona venye wamedevelop sio hivyo huko. Ila kama niko wanaume uko tofauti. Mpaka nilikuwa nimeambia mamangu mimi sioni maana kwa hii life.
I'm Ryan Mwirure Wangui, or you can also call me Ruth Mwihaki Wangui. I'm an intersex. I'm an intersex activist. I was born 28 years ago. I really hate the day I was born, but all in all, I thank God for where I am. When I was born, my mom and midwife was unable to tell whether I'm a boy or a girl. They assigned me as a girl, and that's how I was raised up. When I was born, I had my dad come to the hospital and say that it's not the point of taking a abnormal child. So I can say maybe I was the cause of my mom's marriage breakage, because my dad says that he can't take a curse to his family, because in our culture it's like when you are born an intersex, you are cursed or you are bad omen. In class 6, that's where the puberty started. When I realized that instead of growing like a normal girl, I'm growing masculine. You expect the breast to grow, the hips to align, but that never happened. My voice is breaking somehow. I'm not comfortable being a girl, but by the time I never known what was going on or what was the problem. When I was in class 8, things changed a lot. Everyone was telling me, "Ay, Ruth, you look a boy. Ruth, naona devs in America." I become a topic in our class and also in our school. So I got to a point of dropping out from school. My mom and the family were punishing me that I don't want to go to school. So I had no conducive environment, neither in school or at home. So the best place was maybe being away from my homestead. I went to the street. I stayed on the street for almost a year and a half. But my mom searched and found me where I was. We had a little talk and I agreed to get back to school where I sat for my KCPE and later joined a girls' school. That's where the things were too worse. You can imagine being in a girls' boarding school, being an intersex, whereby you don't want anyone to know what's happening. So I was forced to wake up at maybe 2:30 or 3 to take a shower before anyone is awake, to try to avoid them to see that I have a different body. Fellow students realized that I have a different body because I started receiving love letters from them. The teachers was accusing me for being a lesbian in school, that I'm engaging it. I dropped at Form 2. Wakati nilijua kila mtu ashajua my condition. Because the big question I was asking myself is, whom am I? Am I a boy? Am I a girl? Yes, I feel I'm a boy or I'm a man.
Intersex people are not rare, but they are widely misunderstood. They face deep social stigma, suffer low self-esteem and feel rejected. Families with intersex children find it very hard to cope with the challenge, so they opt to hide them.
In the village, that's where the big problem was. A group of young men got to a point of kidnapping me. But when they undress, sijui chenye waliona, they were surprised ama walifanya nini, kwa sababu hata hakuna mtu aliongea, wote walitoroka tu. But that rumors spreaded everywhere, like anyone want to know whether it's true or not. Ndio maana nikapata watu wananisimamisha kwa barabara. I become a laughing stock whereby ukipita praise, hata kama ni kwa hoteli watu wanaacha machai wanatoka nje kukuangalia. Kabidi nilikuwa najifungia kwa nyumba, sitoki, juu sitaki watu wanione, sitaki watu wanijue. Mpaka ikafika praise nikajua kuna a group wamepanga saying that I'm a curse in the family, I'm a curse in the society. That's why the village is facing some challenges. We must kill you. We can't accept you in our village. When unafanya hakuna mvua. In my whole life, sijailia kilio yenye nililia that night. I cried asking God questions. I was talking like I'm talking face to face with God. I asked him so much heavy questions. And that's when I ran away from the area. I have tried to commit suicide more than 7 times. Kachukua kamba. There is a tree beside there. I went and climbed and hung myself. I don't know where to say, maybe a good luck or a bad luck. Kamba ikakatika. And you're like, venye ilikatika kila mtu akasikia, akaamka. So na mimi nikatoka, nikajifanya, I was not the one. From that I've tried to take chemicals. Up to a point where I tried to look for the heavy chemicals. I don't know how I survived that. It's a very, very heavy chemical, but I survived. But I went to a point of losing my sight for 3 months and also my voice. But I thank God I was saved by my aunt.
Najipata wale mko nao vijana pale. Uzuri niliamua na mmoja wako na deal ya kwenda kuniangalia na kuaga aje. Walikuwa na suspect ni dem, ni Charlie. So uzuri mmoja akaniambia mapema. From that day nilihama na nikaenda kabisa, sikuwahi rudi huko. Shosho yangu huyo kwanza alikuwa ananipa story according to nini kwa familia yao kuli happen, kulikuanga na mtu kama huyo. So alikuwa ananipeanga example na huyo na ile miaka aliishi. Ananiambia sasa usijali, na wewe si wa kwanza. Kuna wengine na mashida ni mingi hata kuliko hiyo yako. So by the way, alikuwa anani encourage, and especially my mom.
Nikaenda kutumia public toilets. So ilibidi niingie choo cha wanawake, juu hivyo ndivyo watu wananijua, to avoid mambo mingi. But nilipoingia pale nilipatana na mwanamke akaanza kupiga duru. There is a man hiding in the female's toilet, maybe want to rape us, maybe, you see. So the mob gathered, they attempted to beat me or to attack me. But before they proceed on, when walianza tu kunipiga kidogo asking who are you. So wakaanza kuwa na argument wao wenyewe. Sijui ni mwanamke, ni mwanaume, sijui nini, sijui wanawake wamwangalie, sijui hapana wanaume wamwangalie. By the time they were arguing, I got a chance to run away.
Although the intersex condition can be corrected through surgery, that invasive option depends on how bad the condition is. Some cases are simple and corrective surgery can be done. In situations where surgery is impossible, individuals are counseled to accept their condition. Some intersex children may undergo surgery aimed at assigning them as male or female, yet grow up to identify as the other sex, a potentially traumatic situation. In the case of Jackie, she was operated on as an infant to make her a girl, only to arrive at puberty and display physical traits of a boy. She will now be forced to take hormonal injections for the rest of her life to suppress male features.
Sometimes reversal does happen. We have quite a number of our patients who have grown up in a particular gender, and later on they decide, they feel like they are being trapped in that gender. So can we reverse them to the gender of their feeling? That is becoming now a new challenge to the profession. And it's a deformity to make you 100% male or 100% female, because your makeup or your deformity could be extreme in either way. 2, you may not be fertile, especially if you are totally intersex, and that is something that you must know.
But before treatment or surgery commences, multiple tests are done to determine the actual gender.
We are under pressure as surgeons, as professionals, to assign this gender very early enough. Before the age of 3 years, which is the common social age for mixing with other children, we want to have done that where it is possible. Before we do all these surgeries, there is a lot of investigations to be done. One of them is to find whether you are XX in terms of your genetic map, or you are XY, so you are a boy.
Before you assign gender, you don't know whether it's male or female, and you cannot say that for sure for a mixed gonadal dysgenesis. Then sometimes you let them grow. As the child grows, you see what development they, and especially at around puberty, and then you'll see which part is dominant. So if they develop into male, then you can do surgery to make them male. If they develop into female, you can do surgery to female. Or if they choose where to go.
An intersex person requires to undergo at least 4 chromosome tests to determine the body's internal sex organs. Each test costs over 70,000 shillings. Some of the tests are done abroad. Corrective surgery costs between 300,000 to 400,000 shillings in public hospitals, and even more in private facilities, which is beyond the reach of most families. Although Jose was assigned the female gender at birth, he wishes to identify as male.
Wakati nilifikisha 23 years, nika decide kuvaa kama mwanaume because ya development zenye nilikuwa nazo. Mostly zilikuwa za mwanaume. 28 ndio nilienda hospitali, nikaoperatiwa huko. But hiyo sasa ilikuwa operation yangu ya 3. It was a difficult decision, but mimi nikaamua tu wherever watu watasema I will not care about it. Na nika change everything. Kaanza kuvaa kama mwanaume, zile skirt nilikuwa nazo nikapeana zote. Familia yangu imesha accept. Ugumu tu yenye wako nayo ni ile kukuita tu jina huku ndani, unajua wameshazoea. But me, I hope with time wata change. Community yenye naishi nao niko acceptable. Na maybe mtu mwenye anataka kujua that story deeply, mi huwa open na muelezea the reality na anaelewa, na ana understand.
Ruth now identifies as male and goes by the name Ryan Moirore.
Kijiintroduce as a man somewhere, sikuangi na issue, watu hawastukangi. So that's when I started. Slowly by slowly by slowly. Even the extended family were happy of my decision. I had my uncle organized a very big party with the family for me, celebrating that, and they said that we knew you are a man since ulikuwa mdogo. According to your thinking, your behavior, how you take your thing, it's only that hatungekuambia venye utafanya. My mom never wanted the shame or aibu yenye ilipatikana when I changed. Sa alitaka kuinsist for me to be a girl. Mpaka alikuwa mgonjwa, ilibidi mpaka tunampeleka hospitali due to stress. The extended family walimuongelesha, wakamuongelesha, I'll calm down, akanielewa pia, akaniita, akaniexplainia. I'm so happy because that is the best decision ever I have ever made in my life. I have my freedom, I have my rights, I have my happiness. I can do whatever I want to do, I can go wherever I want to go as a man, as how I wanted it to be. Watu wengi hata wenye walini harass before they started apologizing, saying that we are sorry, we never knew that was the condition.
Because of the issue of the gender mark and national identity, their documents do not match their gender expressions and they are often made to feel out of place.
ID yangu huwa najulikana Josephine Wangari. But wakati unaenda kuipeana pale, wanaona we ni mwanaume. So unakuta unaitiwa askari, kuitishwa tena vitambulisho ni ya mwanamke. Na tena umerushwa kwa wanaume. Ilibidi nikaita polisi mmoja. So mimi nikamwelezea my story. Kabidi nitolewe.
Venye nilienda kwa bank, nikaenda nikapea the teller my ID. I wanted to do some transaction. Hiyo teller akaamka, mimi nikafikiria kwa the point of serving me. But I was surprised venye niliona askari nyuma yangu asking, you young man, what are you doing here? I told them I just want to do some transaction. Wakanichukua, wakanipeleka nje, walinipiga saying that I'm impersonating, I'm trying to do transaction ya mtu mwingine. Mmoja alikuwa mama. Venye ni explain hata yeye alikuwa surprised. I know I don't look that feminine, but this is my ID. I thank God later, walikuja na waka apologize.
In 2016, nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura presented a petition to Parliament seeking to have the intersex community recognized as a third gender.
I got a lot of pushback because people thought I am introducing foreign things. I also got resistance from Kenya Christian Professional Forum, who thought I was trying to introduce the issue of gays and lesbians. And that's not the point. We are opening up a Pandora's box. We are speaking uncomfortable truths to people. These are God's children. It is Him who has created them the way they are. And there is no way we can pretend that they don't exist in this country. We cannot even say that they don't count. They do count. Even when somebody's body has shown to be more male than female, you cannot tell that person is purely male or female, because there's always that mixture. So we want to have in this country the third gender. Malta has gotten it, Australia has done it, and now recently Germany. So that when you ask, are you male, female, that option is intersex.
A task force was then formed in May 2017 to come up with institutional and administrative reforms with regard to intersex. The task force comprises of various stakeholders from the Ministry of Education, Health, Interior, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, among others.
Inequalities, for instance, lack of access to social amenities, denial of services, for instance, is such a huge challenge that they face. And then discrimination of whichever form. They cannot, for instance, access employment. Where do you place them? For instance, our employment forms, you always feel male, female, such kind of thing. So where do they, place themselves? That is one. Also, employers, have they been sensitized enough to understand the intersex persons, for instance, and how to, treat them? Access to education for intersex children. It becomes extremely difficult. Where do you place them? Do you place them, for instance, in a pure girls boarding, for instance, or a pure boys boarding school, for instance? Many of them actually face the identity crisis. And this is what the task force would actually bring out. How should this be treated within the law, for instance?
We need an Intersex Persons Act. We need a bill that is specific on such peculiarities at this point in time, so that you guide this, you curb abuse, and you also ensure there is proper guidelines.
When it comes to wider public awareness of what it is like to be intersex, there is almost none.
We even come across members of the public who ask, what is this intersex? How do we differentiate it from gay, lesbian, name all those parameters? It is indeed, something that is not understood. But this is a natural biological, kind of makeup. The reason why the government is very keen to ensure that we have laws in place, we have policies in place that would address the aspirations and the protection of the rights of intersex persons. Work of this task force, we would have a huge campaign of sensitizing the country about the existence of intersex persons and how to protect their rights.
If you don't have an ID in this country, what can you do? You can't even vote. You can't even get other documents. You cannot even get a passport. So you are even deprived of your right to citizenship. You don't count. You cannot even, your numbers are not known. We don't even have official statistics for intersex people because it is not a demographic variable that is considered in the census, and it should be an issue that also needs to be looked out into in the 2019 census, so that we know how many intersex persons in this country. And by the way, this also does not mean that they should not matter because there could be 1,000 or 2,000 people or 10,000. Even if it is one individual in this country, he or she, or that person, because then also applying he or she is debatable, that individual has a right to be provided for, to be programmed for, and to be recognized by government. The birth certificate mark should have that box where the mark where you tick that you are intersex. So personally, I think, Rose, it's very important that this is legislated for the avoidance of doubt.
The findings by the task force are expected to be released later this year. Shamed into silence, scarred by surgeries, intersex people are fighting their way out of invisibility, fighting for the right to exist as they are. Intersex has long been shrouded with secrecy and taboo. Recently, however, they have begun speaking out, and a passionate debate has emerged about how they are seen by the wider world.
Nimeamua kujitokeza because at least encourage wengine wenye wako hivyo wasijione yani ni kama walizaliwa, yani ni kama mystic kuzaliwa kwao, wajikubali venye wako.
The reason for like coming out and started to speak and fight for their rights is when I realized that this thing is affecting our society and is no one talking about. And I felt a lot of pain when I met a certain parent who confessed that 20 years back he was forced to kill her child for being intersex. So nikafikiria, how many children have been killed for that? Do I have to sit down and wait for the innocent children to be killed? That's when I realized that we have to do something in order to create the awareness, in order to fight and let everyone know that there is intersex condition.
A movement is beginning to emerge. Intersex Person Society of Kenya has presented fresh opportunities for intersex people to connect, seeing their difference as variations to be embraced rather than defects to be corrected.
I do counseling for the intersex people or the intersex families. I do talk to them. I do help them how to recognize who they are. Our group is an open society. You can join us. We have our FB page that is Intersex Person Society of Kenya. Maybe you are an intersex yourself, you are a parent of an intersex, or maybe you want to do something or you want to work with us. I also call upon on doctors, counselors, because our work need much counseling.
From the shadows to activism, Ryan is now campaigning so that children born like him aren't forced into biological categories, either socially by being made to identify as male or female on birth certificates and other official paperwork, or on the operating table.